Here we have a package coming from Boston. Customer mailed in an iPhone 6s Plus. Touch does not work. Okay, touch is not working on this. Customer said he replaced the screen, and as a result, touch no longer works. We did a similar video a couple of days ago. I do not know if this one is going to be the same problem. Let's go ahead and check. Usually what happens when somebody tries to replace the screen on an iPhone 6s Plus, they disconnect the screen from here by pulling up, and they end up ripping components from under the FEC connector, from below the FEC connector. And look at this. I already see a component that's not in place right here. And this one is loose. We do not know what's going on under here. And what's this? Look at this. So we have 3 ripped components. I think we have 4 broken components. I want to be able to save those components so we can solder them back. But if we cannot save them, we do have them in stock. So that's one of them here. Right now, I'm not concerned if the component is a capacitor. We're not going to put it back. This is an extremely tiny component, and a bypass capacitor is going to have absolutely no effect on the functionality of the phone. We have this component here. I mean, look at how tiny those components are. Look at how tiny those components are. Three, and we have 4. Anything else? We should be good. And this is a very common repair that we get in here. Most of the no-touch repairs on the 6s Plus are caused by filters under the FEC connector. So that's the first place that we look for when troubleshooting for a no-touch on the 6s Plus. Let's open up the board diagram to see what we are missing. And we have a customer. Just a minute. We just got something we have not worked on. It's a projector, a mini projector. The customer said the projector dropped and broke, and now it doesn't power on. So we have to see what's going on here. This is the main circuit board on the top. The circuit board may have suffered an impact, and something may have broke on the board. Could be the power jack, could be, I do not know. So we'll take a look at this one in a future video, probably on Monday. Today is Saturday. Let's take a look at the iPhone 6s Plus board diagram. 1, 2, these 2 are empty by default, so we are interested in this one. This is the SPI AP2Touch CLK. This is a very important filter. On some of the iPhone 6s Pluses that we got where touch was not working, this was the only component that was broken off the board, and it caused touch not to work. So we know that this is a very important filter. The one next to it is a capacitor, which we do not care about. The one next to it is a capacitor. Awesome. We do not care about. And the one next to it is a filter. So right now, we're going to be soldering 2 components. This filter and this filter. And touch should work. It's 6:10 right now. We close at 6. So I'm going to finish this repair and go home. The first thing I want to do is add solder blobs onto those tiny microscopic pads, because right now we are dealing with unleaded solder. We cannot just refill those components in place if we have unleaded solder, because it's going to take a lot of heat to melt unleaded, and the connector will probably melt before solder melts on that board. We need to mix unleaded with leaded so we can lower the melting temperature, so that when we apply hot air, we can melt solder before the connector melts. Again, we are dealing with microscopic components, and this area is extremely tight. I do not consider this repair easy. I've done it so many times, and I'm still extremely careful when working with these size components, and especially this phone, 6S Plus, this area. If the soldering iron touches any of those components, we may knock them off, and good luck putting all those components back. Flux is always your friend, always. It doesn't matter if we have a little or a lot. Flux does not do any harm, but it makes the soldering process a lot smoother. Okay, we have glare now. We can easily get rid of that glare by using our spotlight. So let's do that right now. Beautiful. Put it right here. Where's my RM tweezers? Right here. Okay, so okay, let's go ahead and solder one end of the other component, and we'll flow both of them in place at once. We do not want to keep going back and forth, so let's do everything at once. This is a capacitor. And what's this here? Oh, look at this. I think something else is broken from here. Okay. Okay, so the job is done. Customer, I'm sure he has a backlight issue. I think when we looked at the image, the top left side looked a little bit dark, and I had doubts that the phone has a backlight issue. I mean, look at this. Component is missing from here, and this one looks blown. The phone was sent here for touch and not for a backlight problem. So let's go ahead and test to make sure touch is working. If the phone does have a backlight issue, then we're gonna have to let the customer know that it's gonna cost them extra. That's one thing, and the other thing is we'll do it on Monday. Let's measure to make sure we have a continuous path between here, and we do. Very good. And let me just connect the screen. Okay, and we're gonna connect the battery and hope for the best. You see, I told you, we have a backlight problem. That filter is a backlight filter, the one on the top, so we're gonna have to let the customer know. But for now, let's check to see if touch is working. Customer may not care about the backlight issue if he's interested in information only. And touch is working. I do not want to put in the wrong password. Let me go to emergency and touch is working. Awesome. We still have a backlight issue that the customer did not make us aware of. Since this was only mailed here for no touch repair, maybe customer is only interested in his information and not in actually fixing that phone. Fixing the backlight is going to cost the customer more, so we have to let him know first. But for now, the job is done and time to go home. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll do something else in the next video.